All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the New York Reparations Task Force and how some things look a little bit shiesty. And we're going to show you some little ops are trying to infiltrate as well. So we're going to kind of break it down for you today. This is What's the 411 News. Let's go.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to What's the 411 News. And looks like the New York Reparations Task Force has some explaining to do. The commission, and we're gonna break some things down a little bit, and let's pull this up real quick here. Okay, and we're gonna show you a couple of videos. We're gonna break some things down. Let's make sure this is the right thing here. All right. Yeah, let's tell you what, let's pull up this first video. All right. Now, let me tell you this also. This was from, I believe this was October. All right. They had their task force commission in October. And I'm going to play you two videos from that, break some things down, and then I'm going to show you where you guys can get the because they have another meeting live. So I'm going to show you how you can be able to watch that live for those who don't know. All right. So with that being said, let's pull up this first video, because we already broke down the Detroit task force, right? The sabotage going on with that, with the wording, and it always seems to be the same thing, the wording, and it always seems to be in question the people who are on the task force. Okay, which brings me to this real quick. Let me just see. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that right there. We're gonna have to bring something else in, and we'll pull that up in a minute. So let's take a look at this video. All right.
All right.
Yes, my name is Dewan Madion. I'm a member of the Afro-descendant nation, and I appreciate the work that the commission is doing. However, I disagree with the forum.
First, let's get this straight real quick. Notice what he said, right? We're gonna pull it back. We're gonna kind of slow walk this one a little bit, man. I'm gonna slow walk this one a little bit because we have some infiltrators. All right, listen to this again.
All right.
Yes, my name is Dewan Madion. I'm a member of the Afro-descendant nation.
A member of the Afro-descendant nation. All right. Those are your infiltrators. Okay.
And I appreciate the work that the commission is doing. However, I disagree with the forum that this commission is on for this reason. I believe that the Reparations Commission that has been established by Governor Hochul, as well as the Reparations Commission that is being established in other states, I believe that it is a stratagem, a ruse, if you will, to deceive our people into accepting a watered-down form of reparation when in reality, we deserve full and complete reparation as a result of the destruction of our human rights as a people.
Now I'm gonna play this back a little bit. I'm gonna play this again. Y'all just listen closely to what he's saying. All right, listen very closely to what he's saying.
Madion, I'm a member of the Afro-descendant nation, and I appreciate the work that the commission is doing. However, I disagree with the forum that this commission is on for this reason. I believe that the Reparations Commission that has been established by Governor Hochul, as well as the Reparations Commission that is being established in other states, I believe that it is a stratagem, a ruse, if you will, to deceive our people into accepting a watered-down form of reparation when in reality, we just.
What does he mean by a watered-down form of reparations? When he says that, what does he mean by that?
Form of reparation when in reality we deserve full and complete reparation as a result of the destruction of our human rights as a people.
Our human rights as a people. Let's keep listening in.
We need to be restored as a people, and I will suggest
we need to be restored. We need to be restored as a people. Some interesting wording this guy is using. Very interesting wording.
we deserve full and complete reparation as a result of the destruction of our human rights as a people. We need to be restored as a people, and I will suggest that the commission meet with black leaders such as Silas Muhammad and other grassroots black leaders that have.
Silas Muhammad. Silas Muhammad. You want them to meet with people like Silas Muhammad. Why is that? And by the way, Silas Muhammad, in case you don't know, now I went to the that reparations thing they had in Atlanta. I think it was a couple of years ago, and Silas Muhammad was there. I went to that one. All right. On my other channel, I did some commentary on it. I think I actually showed some live footage. And Silas Muhammad, I think, is the quote unquote leader of the lost and found Nation of Islam, which is different from Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam. All right. To give you some background information for those who don't know. Okay. Silas Muhammad leads the lost and found Nation of Islam. And so, you know, when he said in the very beginning, Afro-descendants, right? Those are the infiltrators. I mentioned that earlier. They're going to be going around a lot of these task force from different cities and kind of interjecting something what this guy is saying. Just take a listen. Because he's using some really interesting wording.
We need to be restored as a people, and I will suggest that the commission meet with black leaders such as Silas Muhammad and other grassroots black leaders that have taken our case for reparation to the international community, because we see in the domestic realms of America that they're taking us for a joke. And it infuriates me that you take us for a joke, because for John Conyers' bill to be on the floor for over 30 years and it only collected dust as a result of a study. That's all, just a study.
Some of the stuff you hear him saying, where did you hear that before from?
Take us for a joke, because for John Conyers' bill to be on the floor for over 30 years and it only collected dust as a result of a study, that's all, just a study, I think that's an insult to us. And therefore, it's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic.
Excuse me. Notice how he's not saying anything about the harms done regarding slavery, regarding any type of repair, regarding building a entire country and not getting paid. He's going off on a different field, a left field somewhere, right? Notice that.
Because for John Conyers' bill to be on the floor for over 30 years and it only collected dust.
And I don't know when or where any of us Black Americans was talking about a John Conyers bill. I don't recall anybody. I don't recall that. Maybe y'all do, but I don't. What is he bringing that up for? What is this Afro-descendant bringing that up for?
As a result of a study. That's all, just a study. I think that's an insult to us. And therefore, it's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic realms.
And look at everybody in the background. They ain't even feeling what he's saying. You see the lady there looking at him, but nobody really has any real reaction to him. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Just even study the people behind him. One dude is on his phone. Other people are there listening kind of halfways a little bit, but they ain't really feeling this guy, right? And he's just kind of talking off on some other stuff, right?
Muhammad and other grassroots Black leaders that have taken our case for reparation to the international community, because we see in the domestic realms of America that they're taking us for a joke. And it infuriates me that you take us for a joke, because for John Conyers' bill to be on the floor for over 30 years and it only collected dust as a result of a study. That's all, just a study. I think that's an insult to us. And therefore, it's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic realms, like Mr. Silas Muhammad have said and has done.
Here's the reason why it shouldn't be just lineage based. We want to go nationwide or worldwide. You know, I'm translating for you. All right. I'm going to be your translator today. What you say, my man?
Only collected dust as a result of a study. That's all, just a study. I think that's an insult to us. And therefore, it's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic realms.
Here's the reason why it shouldn't be just lineage based,
like Mr. Silas Muhammad have said and has done, and bringing it to the international arena.
And bring it to where everybody can get a piece of this action.
I don't know if our people is aware of this, but Mr. Silas Muhammad and 18 other leaders throughout the diaspora have established an identity for us, and that identity is Afro-descendant.
Now, who told Silas Muhammad and these other 18 people to make a decision for us? Us Black Americans, us FBA, us Freedmen. Who told y'all that? Who told you, Silas Muhammad and 18 others, that we was on board with that? Y'all didn't come holler at us. right? You got your own thing going.
Into the international arena. Rims, like Mr. Silas Muhammad have said, and therefore it's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic realms, like Mr. Silas Muhammad have said and has done.
Here's the reason why it shouldn't be lineage based. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm kind of soaking it in on purpose because a lot of people is probably going to watch this sooner or later. So here's the reason why we shouldn't just make it strictly to a specific lineage and make it for and open it up for everybody. Let's put it like that.
It's indicative that America is not taking us serious. Here's the reason why we need to take it out of the domestic realms, like Mr. Silas Muhammad have said and has done, and bringing it to the international arena.
Give everybody.
I don't know if our people is aware of this, but Mr. Silas Muhammad.
No, a lot of people ain't aware of that. Who gave y'all permission? Y'all didn't come holler at us.
People is aware of this, but Mr. Silas Muhammad and 18 other leaders throughout the diaspora have established an identity for us, and that identity is Afro-descendant. This identity has given us the right to self-determination. We're no longer known as Negroes.
Y'all listen. Self-determination. That sounds like what's the name of that holiday? like you would hear when Louis Farrakhan does his summits. You always hear somebody in the background go, "Listen." Well, listen.
Self-determination. We're no longer known as Negroes, colored people, Black Americans, or African Americans. We're no longer known as Negroes.
No longer known as Negroes.
Colored people, Black.
Colored people, Black.
Americans, or African Americans.
Colored people, Black Americans, or African Americans.
If we accept the term African American, when we get reparations, and we will get it, then that term African American opened up the door for anybody coming from Africa. If they were born in Africa as a Chinese, as a Japanese, they can come right over here and become American citizens and claim to be African American.
Well, here's the thing. See, he's running game because from one part of his tongue, he's talking about, well, if we open it up to African Americans, everybody's going to get this and that. But then you want to say Afro-descendants because it's a more open term to do just exactly that. You see the game? I told you this dude is pretty slick. I don't even know if he realized he's that slick from when he started to right now in the video. Sound like you running game.
Then that term African American opened up the door for anybody coming from Africa. If they were born in Africa as a Chinese, as a Japanese, they can come right over here and become American citizens and claim to be African American. There's nothing we can do about it.
But yet, Silas Muhammad, you saying wants to take it to the international court? To do what? Exactly what you're saying. These ops, the Afro-descendant ops, is real slick with the words they use. Just like Dick Gregory used to say, the games they play.
And that term African American opened up the door for anybody coming from Africa. If they were born in Africa as a Chinese, as a Japanese, they can come right over here and become American citizens and claim to be African American. There's nothing we can do about it. But the name Afro-descendant.
Thank you. Thank you. You can continue your testimony by calling in or emailing, but we thank you for being here today.
So that's Dr. Chanel Hawkins. She's one of the people on the Reparations Commission. And like I said, you see dude real slick with what he said. He wants everybody to accept the term Afro-descendants. And like I said, I did go to that reparations event, if you will, in Atlanta a couple of years ago. And they was pushing that Afro-descendant name real heavy. All right, so we're gonna pull up another video. There's something going on with the audio here. I don't know if y'all hearing the feedback. I hope you're not hearing this feedback. Yeah, you guys stand by for just a second. It's very interesting when you go live. It always seems to happen when you're trying to educate folks. All right, we're gonna go to the next video. I'm gonna put my mic on mute and try to go from there because I'm getting feedback. I don't know if you guys are hearing it repeat. Every time it comes on to go live to give you some real stuff, the live mysteriously starts messing up. All right, so let's check out this next video.
Next, I would like to call Regina Robinson. Is this your first time, Regina? Yes, it is. Welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Hi, first I want to thank the Commission for having everyone here tonight, and I am appreciative of the attempt that's being made at reparations. However, I'm very concerned about the language that's being used, in particular when we're saying African descent, because African descent can mean anyone from the continent of Africa when we know that we're speaking about people that are Black and that racializes things. And I'm concerned about that because the Supreme Court has ruled against racializing reparations of any sort twice now. We see that through the dismantling of DEI and through affirmative action. So this commission needs to be very careful about racializing reparations. And the only way that reparations can be actually paid is that reparations is a specific monetary payment for a specific harm that was done to a specific people for a specific crime. It is not the responsibility of the U.S. to try to remedy every country that participated in slavery. That is for a separate agenda when we're talking about discrimination. But since this commission is here for reparations, that is a specific harm done to a specific people that comes through a specific lineage. I am an American descendant of slavery. My ancestors have been here for hundreds of years. We also have to consider the fact that at what point do people from my lineage become American? We cannot allow for other outside interference from, yes, we know that we are descended from the continent of Africa, but my homeland is here. I have been here for centuries. My ancestors have been here for centuries. We are American. This is the state of New York. It is a state within the United States of America, which means that it can only address and only has the authority to address reparations for those that were impacted by it. That by slavery, by putting that language in your mission and by tying it to slavery because you know that it has to be a specific harm to a specific people. If you're in a car accident, unless it's your car that was directly hit by the other car, that is going to be who the insurance company pays reparations to. It's not going to be the people that are sitting in traffic and that saw the accident. That is how reparations works. We have to make sure that we are doing the right thing here and using the correct language. Now, if you want to propose an agenda for racial discrimination, that's separate.
Here's the deal.
All right. Shout out to her. She seemed a little bit nervous, but and just off about a few little things, just a tad bit. But for the most part, she was on point with a lot of stuff. I'm just go back just a little bit because I want you to hear, for those who hadn't heard it yet, I want you to hear what comes next after what she said. All right. I want y'all to hear that. Let me see something real quick here. So I got the background noise. I don't know if you guys were hearing it. I was hearing like double. I'll say something and right behind it, I'll hear myself talking. So somehow I got it fixed. But it always seems like when you go live and try to put some real stuff on and you're not up here booty clapping or nothing like that, then all of a sudden, you know, they want to mess with you live. But I don't think it affected y'all. But let's play this, just a little bit of what she said, and then listen what comes after.
In traffic, and that saw the accident. That is how reparations works. We have to make sure that we are doing the right thing here and using the correct language. Now, if you want to propose an agenda for racial discrimination, that's separate.
Here's the deal.
Now listen to this.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. If you'd like to continue.
If I may, we don't typically respond to people when they presented their testimony because we like to take it and give it thought and consider it. I do need to correct something for you. This is not the commission's language. Your issue, and everybody who is concerned about language that says persons of African descent should be considered with respect to reparations, your issue is with the New York State Legislature. No, let me explain to you why.
Now, I think her last name is Austin.
Issue is with the New York State Legislature.
All right. Y'all might have heard some background. I'm just making sure the audio is good. All right. So, yeah, I think her last name is Austin. I forget what her first name is. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said there might be some games being played. All right, let me go back just a little bit. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. If you'd like to continue.
We don't typically
respond to people when they presented their testimony because we like to take it and give it thought and consider it. I do need to correct something for you. This is not the commission's language. Your issue, and everybody who is concerned about language that says persons of African descent should be considered with respect to reparations.
Some people mention Ron Daniels. Now y'all know he's part of the commission. I heard his name come up before. So y'all see on the video right there.
With respect to reparations, your issue is with the New York State Legislature. Let me explain to you why. The information on the website builds from what we are mandated by the legislation to do. May I finish, please? Just let me finish and then you can fire back at me. The legislation authorizing this commission to study the impact of slavery in New York State.
The legislation authorizing this commission.
The impact of slavery in New York State specifically, expressly states that we are to examine the impact of slavery and the impact of racism on people of African descent. It is the language in the legislation. We are not mandated or allowed, I should say, we are not permitted to do anything but what the legislation actually authorizes us to do. And so
now I have a question Maybe somebody can answer it for me. So if she's saying that, right? Let's play that back a little bit.
The legislation. We are not mandated or allowed, I should say. We are not permitted to do anything but what the legislation actually authorizes us to do.
So she's not permitted, they're not permitted to do anything but what the legislator authorizes them to do. I'm curious if they can refuse anything. I'm curious to know if they can refuse anything at all, if that's part of it. I'm just asking the question. All right. Just asking the question. But let's get back to it.
And so I appreciate the points that you're making. I'm not challenging your concerns. What I am telling you is that your issue is not with the commission. Your issue is with the New York State Legislature. So if you want to challenge the commission and what the commission is doing, you have to work through the state legislature. You're going to have to go and actually fire at the New York State Legislature, those who actually wrote the legislation, the bill, and the legislators that passed it. We are authorized to do what is mandated. Anything short of, anything overreaching, actually may throw out all of the work that is done. So your issue, I'm not challenging you. I'm just telling you, if you really want to take this up, you have concerns about who is covered under this legislation, about it being too broad, you have to take that up with the legislature. We don't have the authority.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones-Austin.
Okay, so you have to take it up with the legislature, right? You can't take it up with the commission right there that Governor Hochul put together, I think. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pull something up. I want to show y'all something real quick. If I can get it pulled up here. All right. This should be one of the pages. Just want to pull this up. Now, you won't be able, you can't see my face. Like I said, somebody is, even though I got the audio to operate, even though the audio is good, and I don't know if you was getting any of the feedback, for some reason my face is not on the screen. I'm looking at the backstage on here, but I'm also looking at a monitor and I don't see my face. So yeah, things are being tampered with. And of course, you know, when you're talking about something real, that's what happens. But anyway, nonetheless, we're still going to keep things rolling. And here's the website. I want all of y'all to, I'm going to put this on the screen. Jot this down. All right, let me just put it on the screen real quick. Let me just type that in. And let's see here. Why is this 10 seconds thing on here? All right, so write this down, put this down in your notebook, put this on your phone. ny.gov. Hold on, what's this going on here? ny.gov/reparations. And when you do that, right? Okay, I'm just making sure my audio is still good, even though you don't see my face. But when you put that in, the page that you're looking at right now is what comes up. All right. And then you'll see on this screen where it mentions the bill, right? It says Bill S1163, if I'm not mistaken here. It says Bill S1163-A/A.7691. All right. It'll take you there. You can even go to it now and follow along. Okay. Let me get something else pulled up. All right. And we're going to go ahead and pull something else up here real quick. But like I said, there's a lot of games being played. Let me see here. You guys bear with me for a second. Make sure I'm pulling up the right thing. I think this is it right here, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully this is it. Yep, I think so. Hopefully it'll pull up for you. All right, there we go. Yes, and there we have it, right? State of New York. Regular sessions in Senate, January 10th, 2023. And we're going to scroll down. I think it's 7 pages. And you guys can feel free to go and check it out and read it. We're going to go to page 6 and just read a few lines. Because, like I said, just like Dick Gregory used to say, this is the games they play. All right. All right. So I'm going to start off from number 1. Examine how New York State engaged in the interstate transfer of enslaved Africans and carried out federal policies in the furtherance of slavery. Examine the de jure and de facto discrimination against freed, enslaved Africans, their descendants, and people of African descent. I'm going to read that one again and then go down a little bit. Examine the de jure and de facto discrimination against freed, enslaved Africans, their descendants, and people of African descent, generally at both the state and federal levels of government, during the period between the end of the Civil War and the present, including but not limited to economic, political, educational, and social discrimination. Examine the lingering negative effects of the institution of slavery and discrimination on living people of African descent and on society in the state of New York. Examine the current condition of living people of African descent in the state of New York to the extent practicable, including but not limited to, okay, it's like the same thing again, economic, political, educational, social conditions. Recommend appropriate ways to educate the public of commission's findings. All right, let me see here. Recommended remedies and reparations in consideration of the commission's findings. And so the part that I wanted to tell y'all about is how they kind of crowbarred or snuck the wording in when it says freed enslaved Africans, their descendants, and people of African descent. And then I'll say examine the conditions of living people of African descent when you go further down. And so it's in the wording that the lady was talking about that you had to get with the legislator to have these wording changed, because it's in there. They're adding other people in it again, just like with the Detroit task force. And like I said, you can go to ny.gov/reparations. It'll take you to that one page, the State of New York Commission, and then it'll have that bill right there on the bottom. You just click on that, and it'll take you to what you see on the screen. You can read it yourself. it's like a continuation. It doesn't stop. That people want to add folks in to the mix. They want to add others in. And notice the lineage wasn't mentioned by the first guy. He's talking kind of left field with some stuff. Afro-descendants, this, and we want to take it to the national stage. But yet he's talking about, well, if everybody call us so African American, that'll be everybody will be part in this. But yet you're still saying the same thing at the same time. You're like double talking. So I wanted to bring that up to your attention. And let me pull this up because they have another one. The New York Reparations Task Force has another one coming up. In a few days, as a matter of fact. So we're going to pull that up. I think I just had it up for you guys. So that's the one. And then what's the second one? So again, go to ny.gov/reparations. And it will take you to this page right there where you see it on the screen right now. And when you scroll down, there's the bill right there. All right. Read the bill over. It's only 6 or 7 pages. When you scroll down, they have another one coming up on December the 9th. Okay. 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. And hold on, let me pull this. Let me go back up because I think they had a number on here. Hold on. Yeah, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, they have a phone number and I think this is their email address. Yeah. So they have one coming up December the 9th and you can actually watch it live. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if it popped up on your screen and it looks like it has. There you go. And so you have an option to watch this live December the 9th. Y'all watch the New York State Community Commission on Reparations Remedies public hearing. The theme that's going to be on the 9th is the war on drugs, racially discriminatory criminal justice policies and practices. Now you have a few options here. You can click on where it says watch live stream and it'll take you to their YouTube channel and you can watch it live. Or you can go to their Zoom link and watch it that way. All right. So you got a couple of ways that I see that you'll be able to check them out. And I will be checking them out as well. As a matter of fact, let me see here. When is they say it starts at 5:30. So that is Tuesday of next week at 5:30. I might actually broadcast that live for y'all as well. We might be back on live and broadcasting that for you. So you can also check it here at What's the 411 News. If you don't want to go to their site and go to the Zoom link or watch it on their YouTube channel, I think we're going to broadcast it live as well. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, a lot of games being played from one city to the next. There's always the wording that's going on. They don't want to get the language right. And oh, by the way, let me pull this up too before we get out of here. Let me see. Like I said, they always have a thing with the language. And it's always the people that are actually on these task force commissions. Because one of them is suspected of being a Caribbean and maybe Jamaican more specifically. All right. Let me pull this up real quick. Now, just for quick research, I think from my quick research is showing that everybody that you see in this picture The only person that's missing in this picture is Ron Daniels. But I think everybody else you see on this picture is on the commission, the commissioners for this reparations task force. All right. I think everybody's on here except Ron Daniels is missing out the picture. And Linda Tarrant Reed, which I believe is the lady, if you're watching on the screen right now, hold on. Let me make sure here that you guys are seeing this. The lady on the far right. Let me pull this up because you're not seeing it on the screen, I don't believe. Like I said, they're always messing with your live streams. Let me see if I can pull it up this way. All right. Yeah, I think you guys can see it on the screen. All right. There you go. So, yeah. I think the lady on the far right with the white sweater, she has the dress. I think she's the one who's Jamaican or some type of Caribbean descent, if I'm not mistaken. If you know otherwise, then feel free to correct me. All right. So you have Linda Brown Robinson. You have Lori Daniel Favors. You have Dr. Ron Daniels. You have Dr. Derek Hamilton, Dr. Charnel Hawkins, which I've seen in the video. You have Timothy R. Hogues. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jennifer Jones Austin. I think that was the lady I was referring to earlier, the light-skinned lady. I said her last name was Austin. I think that was her, Jennifer Jones, the one that said you got to go to the legislation to get the language changed in New York. So it doesn't show that they're making it more widespread for people of African descent, where everybody can come in and just say, well, I'm from Africa. I want to get some of this money. Right? So that was her, Jennifer Jones Austin, Dr. Deborah D. Jenkins, and then Linda Tarrant Reed. I believe she's of some type of Caribbean descent. Unverified, so I don't have it verified, but some things popped up showing we couldn't figure out if it was Jamaican or not, but some things popped up showing some type of Caribbean. Okay. So I will say that it's not hasn't been 100% verified of her being Jamaican, but there's some things showing up that she might be on the Caribbean side. And the rest of them might be Black Americans. That's what a quick search showed us here. Okay. And so, again, that seems to be the theme. Make the wording a certain way so everybody can get some of them dollars, and let's bring on people that have nothing to do with our plight here in America. All right. And so I just wanted to give you that information. For those who don't know who they are, what the names are, I'm breaking that down, giving that to you. You can also see this thing live. I believe we're going to broadcast it as well. December 9th, it starts at 5:30. I think it's going from 5:30 to 9 p.m. So we'll try to broadcast as much as that as possible. Or you can go to their actual YouTube channel. I think it's the New York Community Commission. I think it's the name of the channel. Let me see if I can pull that up. It should be NYS, which is New York State Community Commission on Reparations Remedies Public Hearing. The channel is called NYS Community Commission on Reparations Remedies. That's the channel. If you guys want to go straight to that YouTube channel, you can go there or you can come watch it. We'll broadcast as much as possible live, if not all of it. And so you can guys see what's really going on and what's really going down. Like I said, a lot of games being played. There's a lot of games being played. And so we appreciate y'all. We thank y'all for coming in. I hope this was an eye opener. And as always, I would definitely hope that it has you thinking and keeping things in mind, that the game playing doesn't stop. The game playing won't stop. And so it's up to us to go to show up to these things and make sure they see that we are not playing, and we're going to make sure we correct them at every turn and every corner about the language. All right. So everybody in New York, I guess you got to go to the legislator and have them remove that African descent wording in there before some folks come over here, come to New York anyway, and it could be an Elon Musk saying he's African American and getting some money. Now that's something to think about. All right. So we appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for checking us out. This is What's the 411 News. Feel free to comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. Don't forget to go to whatsthe411news.com. And we'll be back with another one, man. With that being said, we out of here. One love. Peace.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.